Mike Pence marks the 70th anniversary of Israel's founding. The White House's responsibility for Gaza deaths rests squarely with Hamas. Plus, Orange, California unites with a worldwide walk to fight poverty. Hello everyone, I am Sarah Nachman bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. At the call of various organizations, about 200 protesters gathered in front of the Israeli consulate in Istanbul to denounce the deaths of nearly 60 Palestinians by Israeli fire on the Gaza border. A foreign ministry official said Turkey on Tuesday told the Israeli ambassador to temporarily leave the country in protest at the killing of dozens of Palestinians by Israeli troops on the Gaza border.
Anlığımdan utandım diye hissedebilirim ki yani bu kadar zulüm olur mu? Mazlum insanlara bu zulüm ne yani?
Merhameti olan herkes gibi acı çektim. Ama protesto etmek için de buradayım.
Bu protestomuzu simgelemek için İsrail konsolosluğunun önüne bu politikalardan dönmeye onları çağırmak için, yaptıkları zulmü kınamak için siyah çelenk bırakacağım.
Dün kahroldum. Benim için yani dünya karardı gibi. Onların acısını aynı ben de yaşıyorum.
The official, who asked not to be named, said Ambassador Ethan Nye was summoned to the foreign ministry and told to return to his country for a period of time. The official said that this was also in line with Turkey recalling its ambassador to Tel Aviv for consultations. Nye had been in his post only since December 2016 after a reconciliation deal earlier that year ended a dispute over the deadly storming of a Turkish ship by Israeli commandos that saw ties downgraded for around 5 years. Ankara has reacted with fury to the killing Monday of 60 Palestinians in clashes and protests on the same day as the United States formally moved its embassy in Israel to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv in defiance of international outrage. Prime Minister Binali Yildirim earlier urged Islamic countries to review their ties with Israel and said Ankara was calling an extraordinary summit of the world's main pan-Islamic body on Friday. Yildirim said Turkey had called an extraordinary summit of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation on Friday. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan currently holds the rotating chairmanship of the body. It was not immediately clear what format the meeting would take or who might attend. Deputy Prime Minister Bekir Bozdağ said in Parliament that the summit would take place in Istanbul. In an apparent bid to drum up support for the event, Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu held telephone talks with around a dozen counterparts from the Islamic world. Foreign ministry sources said they included the foreign ministers of Jordan, Indonesia, and Iran, as well as the OIC Secretary General Yusuf bin Ahmad Al Uthaymeen. South Africa recalled its ambassador to Israel on Monday after at least 52 Palestinians were killed in clashes with Israeli forces during protests over the U.S. embassy opening in Jerusalem. South Africa's foreign ministry said in a statement, "Given the indiscriminate and grave manner of the latest Israeli attack, the South African government has taken a decision to recall Ambassador Sisa Ngumbani with immediate effect until further notice." It said the victims were taking part in a peaceful protest against the provocative inauguration of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem, condemning violent aggression carried out by Israeli armed forces. The statement also says, "This latest attack has resulted in scores of other Palestinian citizens reported injured and the wanton destruction of property."
Conflict there, we find, resonates with our own situation when we were under apartheid. And I do know that the Israeli people do not like the comparison. But the comparison is in the context that it took the world, and the world standing up to support us as the ANC, and the world saying to the South African government then, this far and no further.
The violence erupted over the formal opening of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem.
This kind of situation does not help the resolution of their problem. Hard force does not help the resolution of any problem. And we've recalled our ambassador because we would like to hear from him firsthand what is happening.
More than 2,400 Palestinians were wounded, and the dead included 8 children under the age of 16, according to the Palestinian envoy to the United Nations. It was the bloodiest day in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict since a 2014 Gaza war. The head of UN Humanitarian Affairs, Mark Lowcock, visits the Morta and Kulba camps for displaced people in Kadulki in Sudan's South Kordofan, visiting projects supported by the UN and meeting residents.
UN is trying to raise $1.4 billion this year for our humanitarian assistance for 7 million people, just like all the people we met today across Sudan. And I think the world is not paying enough attention to this humanitarian crisis, a forgotten crisis, and we need to draw more attention to it and remind the donors of the importance of working together with the government to meet the needs of these people who are suffering a lot.
Camp residents describe the severity of their situation.
أنا ظرفي كبير ظرفي ولدي قرر المدرسة حلو وظرفي أنا الحس الحالي أنا القاعدة في الوضع حالتي كلها كعب.
Up next, Spike Lee blasts President Trump over Charlottesville at the Cannes Film Festival premiere. Mike Pence marked the 70th anniversary of Israel's founding. The White House's responsibility for Gaza deaths rests squarely with Hamas. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return in a moment.
Welcome to the garden. A world that brings you back to that natural, carefree feeling of joy and happiness. A place where art becomes your song to strengthen bonds. Creating your moments, kindling your passion, worth reliving over and over. A world that recaptures the value of life. Breathe. This is your world, your life, your garden.
With 35 miles of coastline, Virginia Beach, Virginia is Guinness World Record holder for the longest stretch of Pleasure Beach and home to the historic First Landing State Park, where English settlers landed first in America on April 1607 in the area famously known as Cape Henry. I am Sarah Nackman, broadcasting from my beautiful hometown of Virginia Beach, Virginia, USA, and I am 1 with 25.
Agila Balita, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 12 ng tanghali hanggang 1:00 ng hapon.
Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News Washington, D.C. U.S. Director Spike Lee hits out at President Donald Trump over his response to last year's violent white supremacist protests in Charlottesville, Virginia, as he presents his new movie, Black Klansman, a searing indictment of the white nationalist roots of the Trump era, which premiered at Cannes to a lengthy standing ovation. Lynn Pence with more.
Spike Lee drew rave reviews Tuesday for his new movie Black Klansman, which premiered at Cannes to a lengthy standing ovation. 61-year-old Lee tells the flabbergasting true story of Ron Stallworth, the first African-American on the Colorado Springs police force who managed to infiltrate the highest levels of the Ku Klux Klan in the late 1970s.
There's no way in the world why I could not, once I got the blessing from Mrs. Rowe, make that the end of the film. And with the help of Focus, thank you guys, we're going to release this film on the 1-year anniversary of Charlottesville. And it's an ugly, ugly, ugly blemish on the United States of America. This film, to me, is a wake-up call. Because we've gone for the okey doke, walking around in the daze, and stuff is happening, and it's topsy-turvy, and fake has been trumpeted as a truth. That's what this film's about. And I know in my heart, I don't care what the critics say or anybody else, we are on the right side of history with this film.
The cop, played by John David Washington, son of two-time Oscar winner Denzel Washington, conducts much of the investigation on the phone and enlists the help of a white Jewish officer, Adam Driver, when it is time to meet the Klansmen face-to-face. Lee takes aim at white supremacy, racist police violence, cross-burning, intimidation, marginalization in a movie that maintains a farcical tone through long stretches given the most unbelievable premise. However, their final scene splices in chilling footage of last August's white nationalist march in Charlottesville, Virginia, in which a counter-demonstrator 30-year-old Heather Heyer was killed and several others injured. Trump is later seen on camera blaming people on both sides for the bloodshed.
I didn't want to mimic. I didn't want to emulate. I just wanted to inhabit his spirit, and everything that goes into that during that time was a very specific time. So. That was kind of my roadmap.
It's so when you play someone who is alive, which I've done before, you feel a responsibility to kind of get it right. And I did feel that responsibility in the sense of people know who David is, but I did not feel that responsibility to David.
For Eagle News, I am Lynn Pence, and I'm 1 with 25.
U.S. Vice President Mike Pence gives remarks at an event to celebrate the 70th anniversary of Israel's founding in Washington. On the same day, the United States inaugurated its new embassy to Israel in Jerusalem, recognizing the city as the capital of Israel and spurring deadly protests in Gaza. U.S. President Donald Trump could not attend the event after First Lady's hospitalization.
As you are all no doubt aware, earlier today, the First Lady underwent a long-planned medical procedure, and I'm pleased to report the procedure was a success, and Melania is already on the mend. Almost exactly 70 years to the minute from the rebirth of the Jewish state, the American Embassy officially opened in Jerusalem, the capital of the state of Israel, today. So today, let me assure you all, the United States of America will never allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. That is our solemn promise to Israel and the world.
The White House Deputy Press Secretary says the responsibility for Gaza deaths rests squarely with Hamas.
We're aware of the reports of continued violence in Gaza today. The responsibility for these tragic deaths rests squarely with Hamas. Hamas is intentionally and cynically provoking this response, and as the Secretary of State said, Israel has the right to defend itself.
Residents of Orange, California and neighboring cities unite with a worldwide walk to fight poverty. That's next. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return shortly.
Corporation, I would like to wish you a happy 50th anniversary. Kung alam niyo lang po kung gaano kasaya na nakakatrabaho kayo at meron akong support niyo. Maraming salamat po. And I'm praying for more success and happiness sa inyong group. And thank you so much. Sana po ay makaselebrate ako with you. Have fun!
Join me as I rediscover the joys of living here in the Philippines. Travel through taste. Discover your next adventure as we take you on our tasty travel.
Agila Balita, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 12 ng tanghali hanggang 1:00 ng hapon.
This is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. I am Sarah Nackman. Our junior correspondents Justin Libid, Seth Paras, and Ariane Andrade take us to a worldwide walk site in Orange, California. Take a look.
Do you like fun and games? What about yummy food and cold refreshments on a hot spring day? How about enjoying all of this plus participating in an event to help those in need? Then you might be interested in the Worldwide Walk to Fight Poverty organized by the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ. Spanning 82 acres in Orange, California, Santiago Canyon College is one over 300 sites, participating in the simultaneous largest charity walk in over 70 countries and territories around the world. This event will benefit impoverished communities by supplying the much-needed food and medical assistance. A Guinness World Records adjudicator was present to ensure that the guidelines of the attempt were followed and that every qualified participant would be counted. After completing the 1.7-kilometer circuit around the campus, wristbands were turned in for tallying. The Iglesia Ni Cristo hoped to break the current record for the largest charity walk across multiple venues, held within 24 hours. Welcomed with free food, refreshments, and entertainment, the over 3,000 registered walkers concluded their day by celebrating the collective undertaking they embarked upon, with each other. After a hot trek to the Santiago Canyon College campus, the participants of the Worldwide Walk to Fight Poverty crossed the finish line. Each one happy to have joined the effort of helping their fellow men. Reporting from Orange, California for Eagle News, I am Seth Paras with Ariane Andrade, who is still covering the walk. And I'm Justin Libby, and we are 1 with 25.
Thanks to Justin, Seth, and Ariane. That is today's Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Join us tomorrow for stories that matter to you. Visit our website at eaglenews.ph, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. On behalf of Eagle News Washington, D.C., thank you for watching. I am Sarah Nachman. I am one with 25.